There has always been a settlement here, on the road, since the elder days. What is sure is that the simple Bree folk, a colorful community of men and hobbits, have endured the fall of kingdoms, fell winters, and terrible invasions from orcs and evil men from the south. Today, the Bree folk, big and little, look out from behind their hedge wall and his great encircling ditch to see a landscape of rolling fields and stone-capped hills that are riddled with traces of a past time full of glory. But they are not deceived. They know that there are ancient riddles that are best left to others to answer, and instead, they focus their efforts on the responsibilities of a quiet daily life. Let's take a closer look at the heroic culture, Men of Bree. The inhabitants of the Bree land and its 4 villages lying about Bree Hill, Bree proper, Archet, Colm, and Staddle, are the descendants of an ancient people that first dwelt in the region known today as Eriador, the Lone Lands. Few have survived the turmoils that have ravaged the area, but they are still there now. Most men of Bree are brown-haired and rather short, and tend to be stocky and broad. This, combined with their cheerful disposition, is the reason why they do not appear as outlandish as most foreigners do to their neighbors, the inhabitants of the Shire. But like hobbits, their appearance can be deceiving. The men of Bree can be simple and friendly, but they are independent and wise in their own way. Adventurers from Breeland are rare indeed. If they do leave their villages at all, they do it when the vigor of the youth is in their limbs and usually return home to settle down before the 40th year. Not being of a warlike disposition, the Bree folk favor simple weapons derived from everyday tools and hunting implements. Due to the position of their homeland, the men of Bree enjoy better relationships with hobbits, dwarves, elves, and other inhabitants of the world about them that is considered usual. A player wishing to play the heroic culture Men of Bree will get a cultural blessing, Bree Blood. Each man of Bree in the company increases the fellowship rating by 1 point. Breeland is not as wealthy as it once was, but these days the inhabitants of the 4 villages are no more rustic than their neighbors in the Shire, and no less well off. Players choosing the Men of Bree will have a standard of living as common to start out their adventures. Men of Bree are strong of heart and of will, and less so of strength. Player heroes playing a Men of Bree will have lots of hope to help and hearten and boost the confidence of others in the company. Owing to their long time in this land and being at the crossroads of the great east-west road, Men of Bree are excellent in conversing with other peoples and other cultures, and can help out a party immensely in any type of council. Cunning, fair-spoken, faithful, generous, inquisitive, patient, rustic, and true-hearted are all words to help describe the Men of Bree to others. The Men of Bree have forgotten their ancient native speech and speak the common tongue, albeit slightly altered in a local dialect. They use names that to foreign ears sound simple and similar to those used by hobbits of the Shire. Hobbits, of course, beg to differ. Names such as Ardle, Ed, Piercy, Fern, Holly, and Violet are all names common to the Breeland. Family names tend to be that from the land, such as Appledore, Chester Stout, Hardybough, Kettlegrass, and Sweetroot. The Bree folk live a sheltered life, it is true, but there is an upside in being fond of a warm hearth and the company of friends. You know there is something worth fighting for. One of the first cultural virtues of the Men of Bree available to a player hero is the Bree pony. Similar to their owners, the Bree folk, Bree ponies don't seem to have anything special compared to their peers in other parts of Middle-earth, and yet some of them display uncommon courage and exceptional memory. You have acquired an unusually brave and intelligent beast that follows you everywhere. Choosing a Bree pony as your cultural virtue grants the player hero a raising of the hope by 1 point. Additionally, the pony has a rigor rating of 4, regardless of your standard of living. Your pony never leaves your side. If you are forced to abandon it, for example, to enter the underground passage of a mine, you can choose to find the pony where you left it when you return, or have it find its way back to Bree, no matter where you left it. Defiance. Many realms have risen and fallen in the lowlands of Eriador since the elder days. Only ruins remain to mark their boundaries, yet the Breemen have endured, revealing an unexpected reserve of strength and vigor in the face of adversity. Choosing this cultural virtue, a player hero with Men of Bree raise your maximum endurance rating by 1. At the end of each combat scene, if you are not wounded or miserable, you recover a number of endurance points equal to your heart or wisdom score. Desperate courage. You have lived all your life in the edge of the wild, but the worst news that has come to Bree in your time concern only brigands and packs of hungry wolves. You don't know yet what the likes of you can do against the shadow that's encroaching from the east, but you're sure will stand against it, no matter the cost. If a player hero chooses this cultural virtue, when you choose to spend a hope on a roll, you can also choose to gain 1 shadow to be inspired for that role as well. Friendly and familiar. Since you started your adventures, you have realized that your folk's custom of trading with foreigners may help you in your endeavors. Your nice manners and friendly demeanor easily gain the sympathies of those you meet, and your ability to inquire about doings of strangers without letting curiosity get the better of you provide you with many opportunities to learn from those you meet along the way. Raise by 1 the maximum number of skill rolls that you may attempt in the course of a council. Additionally, the folk encountered are always considered friendly towards you. Strange as news from Bree. It is indeed true that the affairs of the 4 villages are the chief concern of the Bree folk, but the most inquisitive among the inhabitants are always ready to gather what tidings come from distant lands. During each fellowship phase, you receive a rumor from the lore master. In addition, if you are in the Bree land, you gain 1d on all insight and riddle rolls. The art of smoking. As a Breelander, you have mastered the art of smoking pipeweed, and you always carry your pipe with you, as well as a bag of tobacco. For using it grants you patience and clarity of mind. Whenever you regain 1 or more points of hope, you recover 1 additional hope point, regardless of whether it's an adventuring or fellowship phase. There's one more little piece that needs to be added to the Men of Bree. There are many families of hobbits spread among the villages of the Bree land, especially in Staddle. These Bree hobbits are of course closely related to their neighbors in the Shire. Indeed, to most big folk, it is impossible to tell the difference. If a player decides to create a Bree hobbit, like I did for my Strider mode campaign, use all the rules concerning the Men of Bree as found earlier in this video and on page 40 of the core rulebook, with the following exceptions. Bree hobbits calculate their endurance, hope, and parry ratings using the hobbit tables found on page 38. They are limited to the use of the same weapons as hobbits. See also page 38. They must pick their cultural virtues from the following list: Bree pony, desperate courage, small folk, strange as news from Bree, the art of smoking, tough as old tree roots. Bree hobbits share many family names with the local big folk, mugworts for example, but most have Shire-sounding names such as Banks, Brockhouse, Sandheaver, Tunnelly, and Underhill. This is a video covering the Men of Bree and, of course, the Bree Hobbit. Next up, we'll cover the strange, dark folk that wander the wilds alone, the Rangers of the North. If you like this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon to be alerted to when a new video drops. I'm Ryan of the North. Thank you for watching.